Good morning, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Hope you have some delicious coffee. So today I'm going to show you my go-to everyday glam makeup. So I like looking glam nearly every day. On the days that I don't do the glam makeup, I do a little bit less, but this I find I can wear every day and still look not too overdone, but I still feel glamorous. So let's get into it. This is so good. This is a homemade iced vanilla almond milk latte. Let me know if you'd like the recipe. It's so good. It's so much cheaper. So for my face, I am cleansed, exfoliated, and moisturized. And I've had a couple of minutes to let that kind of sink into my skin. The first thing I like to do is I actually don't use primer. I find using primer makes my foundation slide all over the place, and that's not the look I'm going for. Not today. Okay, so I'm actually going to go in with my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and mine is in the shade Fair, and it's too light for me. But that's okay. We're going to make it work. And so I do have my Real Techniques sponge. It's kind of dirty, but I don't use a fully dampened sponge. What I actually like to do is I'll take my dry sponge and I'll just spray it. I have the Mario Badescu facial spray. You can just use water to spray it, but I don't like a fully damp sponge. I do want a little bit of coverage, but I don't want my sponge to soak up too much of my product. So I'm going to go in and just get a few pumps on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to just... So I don't like that is. My face is a bit red though, so I'm just gonna go in and just kind of do some dabs kind of all over my face just to get it on my skin. Yeah, that's way too light for me, but I'm gonna be bronzing, so hopefully it'll even out. So I'm just gonna blend this in with my sponge, and I like to go in little dabbing motions. I'm going right underneath my eye area, but I'm not quite going up to my eye area yet. I'm going to get all the way back to your hairline. And I do like to blend it down my jaw. So I do have some discoloration and breakouts down here, and you want your foundation to match your neck. My foundation doesn't match anything, but that's okay. Another thing too, since my foundation is a bit lighter, is this does oxidize a little bit, so once I let it sit on my skin for a while and let it warm up, it'll kind of blend a little bit more with my skin and it will darken just a tad. Another step I'm not a huge fan of is concealer. It always looks cakey. I find I can get enough coverage just with adding another layer of foundation, so that is what I'm going to do. So I don't have any under my eyes right now, so I'm just going to go in. And I'm going to blend it up over the bridge of my nose because I do have a lot of darkness. I'm sorry, redness and discoloration. Really get into the corners of the eyes. Alright, and then I'm going to do above my eyes. I didn't dip into any extra product. But this look actually doesn't include eyeshadow. But we are going to put just a little bit of color above the eye. Alright, now that we're laying white as a ghost. The coverage looks good though. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit for a minute and to just kind of warm up to my skin and let it set down just a little bit so it's not so sticky to the touch. Alright, so I waited a couple of minutes and my foundation is not completely dry to the touch, but it's not coming off on my fingers when I touch my face. So that is what I'm going for. And now I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way translucent powder. I'm just going to tap a little bit into the cap. So the first thing I actually like to do is I'm going to grab just a really fluffy eyeshadow brush. There's no product on here. I'm going to go in and smooth out any creasing that might be on top of my eyes, but I am just going to smooth the foundation under my eyes as well, just to get out any creasing. I'm going to go back in with that fluffy eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to dip it into a little bit of powder and just set my over eyelid. I'm going to go in and set my under eye as well. Now that I kind of set that area, I'm going to go in with just a velour puff. This smells incredibly dirty, I'm so sorry. Pressing it into the powder, tapping off the excess just so I have some on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of stamp it all over to get most of the product off, and then I'm going to blend it. And I'm just doing little patting motions. I'm not scraping it, I'm not wiping it across the skin. I don't want to move the foundation that I have. And I don't think I mentioned this, all the makeup I'm using is cruelty-free at the time that I'm filming this video, because I guess it changes. I'm just going to take a little bit more of my powder, and this is kind of like baking, but I'm actually going to take the flat end of my sponge, dip it into that powder, and I use this as kind of like a guide for my contour, but also to make it blend smoothly. So I'm going to go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I have the shade Sun-Kissed Bronzer. I'm taking just an angled fluffy brush. This is the Firma 103. I'm just going to turn my head here and just with the very slightest touch, go on the other side. Okay, so there are my cheeks. It might still look a little bit much right now, but I am going to go in and bronze the rest of my face. I do have the BH Cosmetics. I got this whole brush that I'm not entirely sure what it was called, but I'm going to be using a lot of these. Same handled brush, but just really any big fluffy brush will do. And now I'm actually going to go in and contour my forehead. For this, I like to lightly stamp on the color. For me, I have more of an oval face with a slightly bigger forehead. So I'm going to contour across the top to give the illusion of a smaller forehead, and on the sides to slim a little bit. And if you have a wide face, you're going to want to do kind of more this area to bring it in. If you have a very long face, you want to do just kind of up here to, yeah. If you guys want, I can do a dedicated video to contouring and for different areas of the face. Now that I have most of the product buffed on the perimeter, I'm going to continue buffing to the middle of my forehead just to blend everything and also to give my forehead more color because my foundation is entirely too light. The remains of the product on, I'm just going to kind of come down and blend. I want my contour, but I also want to warm up the rest of my face and darken the rest of my face. And I'm actually just going to take my makeup wipe, and I like to take just the tip of my finger and carve out my lips. just to get the foundation off. So now we're going to do some jaw contouring. What I like to do is tip my head back. You can see the natural line of my jaw. And so I'm just going to stamp on the color and blend it out. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm also just to give the illusion of a wider face, which is the look I prefer for myself. And we're just going to bring that down. Most of the color should be concentrated right underneath your jaw. And you can even extend it into the hollows of your collarbones and down to your décolleté. You can't really see it on camera, but I'm not dipping into extra product. I'm just using what's already on my face to just kind of blend. Now it's time for nose contour. I have this flat contour brush. It has these nice edges on it. And so I'm going to just take and dip the very edge into my bronzer. Take that edge with the product on it. I'm going to line it up to where I want my nose shadow to be. And just kind of press down lightly. So there should just be a line. And that's okay. I'm just going to dip in the edge again and go down the other side of my nose. Then for the bottom, I kind of see right here is the high point of my nose, so I'm just going to go right underneath that and paint underneath that with the edge of my brush still. Okay, so now I have just kind of the basic outline. And what I'm going to do is just stamp my brush in, and then I'm just going to go in and just really blend on that line. And I am blending a little bit on top or on the other side of the line so that when you look at it from different angles, you can't really tell that the line is there. And again, I can make a dedicated contour video. It's important to get under your nose too. Okay, Alright, here I have more of like a bulbous nose, so I like to get extra product right here. Okay, so I like this rather than using a brush like this to go down, because this is it already has your straight line. Bam, bam. So there's my nose contour. So we will come back to the nose, so don't worry. Now I'm just going to go in with blush. I do have a sample of the Exposed blush, Tarte Amazonian Clay. I don't know what number this is. It wore off. Just a smaller, fluffy brush. Smile big. Now I'm barely touching my skin with this. And I actually like to kind of blend it all right here. Like really diffuse it and then kind of bring it back into the contour just to make sure that you don't have little clown cheeks, little SpongeBob cheeks. I mean, unless that's what you're going for. Now I'm going to take my highlighter. Mine is very broken. This is J-Cat You Glow Girl Baked Highlighter. It's so worn off. Something light. This is what it looks like. It's kind of a light pale gold color. This is a Real Techniques brush. I think it's just called their highlighting brush. Just going to dip in and just lightly go over. I just like to use very slight sweeping motion. And I'm actually going to go all the way up here, over my brow, and back down. I'm just going to do the same thing on this side. So it's kind of making like a C shape. Now I'm going to highlight my nose. So the very tip right above where I contoured, I'm just going to stamp a little highlighter. And then also up here at the bridge of my nose, I'm just going to run a little bit here. Then, if you want bare looking lips, what I do is I go like this. Highlight the Cupid's bow. Don't go too much of these lines right here. I don't know what these are called. That will make it look like you are dripping snot, which is not cute. So be careful of that. Alright, now that's going to make your lips stick out a little bit from that highlight. Make them look fuller. I'm just going to do the inner corners of my eyes. And then just over the lid, with the main concentration being in the inner corner. I also like to highlight, but not as much highlight, just underneath my cheekbones right here to really make my jaw stand out, because I do like my face to appear a bit wider than it is. So if you have a rounder, wider face, I would skip this step. And then I'm also just going to highlight the face, not getting any extra product. Now I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with the Mario Badescu facial spray. I'll let that dry. If you want to really intensify your highlight while your spray is still wet, go ahead and just go over the top. My nose is still looking pretty crazy. Okay, now that my spray is dry, back into my powder here, my Velour Puff. I'm using quite a bit, but I find that this helps neutralize that color and also fill in the pores. I have quite large pores on my nose. So going back in with this powder, and it really just blends in. And you can do this with any other part of your face as well. If you're noticing any shine or anything that's making your pores look larger, just go back in with your powder and don't rub it in, just pat. You don't want to disturb what you just did. I'm just going to go in with a coat of my Essence Volume Stylist 18 Hour. I'm just going to do a quick coat. So for this, I like to lean my head back. Now I'm just trying to get a light coat, and I will go over the top of my lashes just with the edge of the brush. Alright, I'm just going to do the other side. And you might see I have a little bit of a crease. I have hooded lids, so there's a little bit of a crease from using the setting spray. I'm going to leave that there for now because, as you can see, I have a little bit of mascara up there. And when I wipe that all away, it'll kind of blend out, so I'm going to leave that for now. And then I am going to just let that dry. I haven't done my lower lash line yet. I like to let my top lashes dry first. So while that is drying, I'm going to go right into brows. I'm using I believe this is a Japanesque eyeliner brush, but I like that the tip gets very fine put together. So I have rather small, thin brows. I can't use very large brushes for my brows. And I'm also going to be using my Ulta brow pomade in the shade medium brown. I also will be doing a full in-depth tutorial on how I do my brows, but for now I'm just gonna go in and go for them. Brows are done. I'm going to go in and do my lips really quick. It's going to define my Cupid's bow and just a little bit outside of the lip line here. And this is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Under Over Lip Liner Crayon in the shade Vibe. I only do my upper lip because I feel like my bottom lip doesn't need as much definition. And then I'm just going to go in with a gloss today. I have the Tiramisu Butter Gloss from NYX. And then I'm going to use the applicator to blend my gloss in with the liner. Forgot I still have that crease and that shadow up there. I'm just going to take my fluffy eyeshadow brush, now that that mascara is all dry, and blend out that creasiness. I'm going to put on my Ardell Magnetic Wispy lashes, and again I'll be doing a full tutorial in depth on how I make these work. Okay, so I have my magnetic lashes on. I just prefer using those. I don't like dealing with glue. I find it rips my lashes out, and these work just as well. And I'm going to go in and just coat my lower lashes now. Alright, so that is my makeup. I'm going to go get dressed and I'll show you the final reveal. Alright, lovelies, this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you'd like to see next. I do plan on doing my eyebrow routine and a full in-depth tutorial on how to use magnetic lashes. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Love you and have a wonderful day.